And you just heard our broski Andrés from, this is Casual Bender from Sonny Torres and the Multiverse of Sadness. This is a dope-ass fucking album right here, broski. Welcome to the Bakersfield Underground, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah. And you brought the vinyl, too. I'm big on vinyl over here, man. Yeah. This is fucking dope that you brought this for us and stuff to enjoy. Yeah. This is hella dope, man. Hey, Andrés, tell us, where can we find you at on social media?
Most of my socials are under Andrés A Música. So just my name, Andres, A for my last name, and then Música, music in Spanish.
Easy, huh? Just make it easy for everybody.
I wanted to do Andrés Music, and I think that was taken, so I think I just did Andrés A Música. I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
But it's good, though, because everybody does the music at the very end. So you did Música this time just to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Also on the YouTube channel, is it the same one as well?
YouTube, X, Facebook and Instagram are all Andrés A Música.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. Are you on break right now? Are you still on tour, or like, well, because I know you're always on tour. You're always traveling everywhere. And stuff.
I'm currently kind of. I'm not on tour. I'm not on break. So I just recorded a new album.
It's done.
Yeah, it's completely done.
Oh shit!
And we're in the process of doing the music videos right now.
Oh, that is dope.
And then I'll probably do like a tour in the fall. And then hopefully release the album in the fall as well. Start maybe releasing songs around then.
Oh, that's why you never stop, huh? There's always something going on.
You've been pushing.
Hell yeah, because I know just about a year ago you mentioned that you started already working on the follow-up album. And stuff. So okay, so now it's all done. It's ready to go.
I try to get on it like as soon as possible.
Oh hell yeah!
Just from like observing the way that my favorite bands operate in the industry, it's like they just keep going.
Just keep it in rotation pretty much. Just keep moving around and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's what's up right there.
You got to just fall into the next thing that happens, bro. You got to just keep it going. You know?
And while you're working on it, you're like, I think this is going to be the one, and it's not. And then you're like, all right, I got to do it again. But, you create these moments, and I think that those moments eventually lead to you having like somewhat of a cult following,
right?
Because some people they catch on to this moment, and some people catch on to this moment.
Yeah, people want that moment back, so they're gonna go to you to go get that moment back, right? So yeah.
Like there are people that specifically only talk about like my first couple albums that come to my shows. Yeah, and then there's people that come to my shows that they specifically only talk about my new album.
Right.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of catching on in different moments, and that's why
you're right.
Kind of got to keep it going.
Yeah. So I heard about you when the new album, the recent album came out, right?
I see. Yeah,
so this is when I heard about you, and I heard it. Yeah. So I heard it. I was like, the day of release, I was like, oh shit, this is fucking dope. You know, we're gonna get into like the details of the album and stuff, but not only that, I went back and I listened to the whole catalog. Cool. I went back and I listened to the first, because you have 5 albums out there, and then you have a lot of like singles, remixes. You have a lot of stuff out there and stuff. You know what I mean? So I really did enjoy. I enjoyed the concept of this album here, because it's like a whole movie pretty much. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you have to listen to it from the beginning to the end, and there's music videos out there also and stuff that I really very much enjoyed as well. You know, so I ran into you at the Christmas, what was it, like the Christmas concert, whatever it was, right?
Yeah, it was like
at Off the Rails and stuff.
Toy drive or something.
Yeah, the toy drive. There you go.
Yeah.
That's where I saw you. I saw you in the crowd. I was like, I was interviewing. Who was it? Was it Cottrell, the one?
Cottrell.
Yeah, so I interviewed. A big shout out to Cottrell. Yeah, so we're interviewing a lot of people. Yeah. You know, and then I was like, man, is that Andrés over there, man? And then, so I called you over, and you were kind of like, who are these fucking vatos?
Well, I didn't even know what you guys were doing. It looked like there was like something going on over there, but I was like, what is going on over there? Like,
it's a fucking disaster back there and stuff.
No, I just didn't know what was going on. But then I kind of figured out that you guys were doing like this like live podcast, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then I saw
swooped right in.
I kind of put you on the spot right there.
I saw your episode with my friend Cottrell, and I was just like, oh, this is great. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. And like I said, you were kind enough to give us a couple of minutes over there, even though it was all last minute. You know what I mean? We didn't even know you were going to be there and stuff. You know, I said, man, get over here. Let's talk a little bit about the album and stuff. You know what I mean? But it was like a Christmas situation there and stuff. So let's get to know Andrés, man. Tell us, how did you get started in music?
Well, I got started here in Bakersfield.
All right.
And the first thing that I ever did musically was I played the violin. And I started playing when I was like 8 years old.
The violin, huh? You just jump right on that.
Yeah, my parents were always like really encouraging me to just do things. Right. And my brother's like significantly older than me. He's like 9 years older than me, and he played the trumpet growing up. And he played in a mariachi group.
Oh, nice.
So they were really pushing for me to do something like that. And at 8 years old, you know, that. I mean, they weren't pushing me, but it was just kind of like, it was a conversation.
Mexican parent pressure?
It was like a conversation, you know? And I had gone to this field trip and we saw like the local symphony and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like,
that's
I'll
different,
do that.
yeah.
You know, I want to do that. I was watching my brother play the trumpet in the mariachi group and I was like, you know, being influenced by him, and I was like, that's cool. I want to do that. So I expressed that and my parents were like, okay, all right, you're going to play the violin. And I was like, okay, cool. So, you know, they got me on lessons like immediately, and I played violin and I joined like the school orchestra even though I was too young. And then around the time I was about to hit junior high, I'd been playing violin for quite some time. Let's see, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe like 5 years.
Oh shit, man, you were on it then.
I was getting kind of like bored of it. I was like, I kind of want to do something else. So then I started playing the bass, the big one, the double bass.
Right.
Yeah, and I was just like really into orchestra and all that. And so I started playing the bass in orchestra, and that became like my main instrument. And but at home, I was learning how to play guitar because I was just so into rock music. Like, so I was really into like the emo scene and just like,
don't say My Chemical Romance, man, because the past couple episodes, everybody says that. Yeah,
My Chem, Taking Back Sunday,
there you go.
The Used, Panic at the Disco. You know, that whole scene was just like really becoming like relevant to me.
Yeah.
Especially like right before junior high, you know, like 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah, that's the music that was out during that time.
Yeah. So I'd asked my parents if I can learn how to play guitar, and they're like, no, you're in orchestra. And I was like, well, what if I buy it myself? And they were like, yeah, okay, if you buy it yourself. So like I would like save up money here and there, like from doing chores or whatever. And then I found like $100 guitar and I bought it.
Damn.
And I was like learning how to play guitar at home. But in school, I was doing the bass, and I was in orchestra and I was in jazz band. And
jazz.
I did orchestra and jazz band from 7th grade all the way till I graduated high school.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. No, the music, like what we just listened to, it had a big band jazz feel to it.
Yeah.
And I was about to ask you, and obviously now I know where it's coming from.
What'd you play in jazz band?
Trumpet.
Oh, trumpet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still play trumpet.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Okay, very cool.
That was always my favorite instrument to play, and I also picked up guitar. Yeah. I bought a $20 guitar at a yard sale.
Oh, nice. So we had a very similar.
That's how it started. That's how my mom, how disappointed she was that I was not a mariachi. You know? But that's exactly the way it is. Yeah. So I feel for you. Yeah, I totally understand. I played trumpet since the 4th grade.
Oh, that's awesome.
All the way up to drum, bugle, corps.
It's fun. It's so great. Fun. It's like it's cool because I think when you're a kid, you have like this interest, or you have this
a different drive, right?
Yeah, you're like, well, that seems interesting. Like, I want to try that. But then you start practicing. You're like, oh my god, this is hard.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
good.
And then you're like, why am I doing this? And then your parents are like, we're paying for this. You better practice. Like, you said you wanted to do this. So then you're like, there's all these other factors that are making you practice. And then when you get to like play it in school, then you're trying to keep up with your peers.
That's the best part about it.
And that's the best part about it. Yeah. Is like, wait, why am I still playing this instrument? It's because you want to keep up with your peers. You want to make sure that your parents are happy.
Yeah, you don't want to drop back to like 5th chair. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
First chair, right?
Yeah. There's so much like social like pressure that's involved with it. That's like, very true. In my opinion, very fun, especially like to look back on.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah,
that's dope. Most of the guests that we have, you know, they want to play jazz. That's like the thing that they always say. That we get that a lot. You know, if you could play in a different genre. Jazz seems to be the one, but you started with it and stuff.
Jazz is great.
It's a great, dude. It's so good because jazz is more like it's a feel. It's not a little like techno. It's not. Yeah. Everybody feels the music, and if you get like 5 people playing jazz, it has a different vibe, bro. Even when you play it.
Yeah. But I will say this. As much as it is a feel, there is so much mathematics involved in it that you have to understand before you can feel it.
Right.
Like you have to understand all the different types of scales that there are. Right. You have to understand what key you're in, what the chord progressions are. And then once you have like a really comfortable understanding of that, then you can feel it. And then they encourage you to start.
You got to be a musician, dude. Like, you got to be a good musician to know jazz.
It's so funny because people think, oh, jazz, it's like all the wrong notes and it's like a bunch of people doing like, you know what I mean? But it's like when you really listen to it, it's like,
it's complicated.
They are so, they know so much about music that they're able to do this.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And even the ones that can't explain to you how much they know, you see what I'm saying? Like, you're like, dude, you fucking know a lot. And you're like, I don't even know how I do it. Like, you gifted motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's fucking you naturally gifted son of a bitch. Fuck.
There was this kid that I was friends with my brother growing up. He was in the mariachi group, and his name was Dorian. And it wasn't until I was in jazz band that I was like, oh, and like his whole family was musical, and I was like, that's how musical they are. Like, oh shit. Dorian is like a specific type of scale that you can play in jazz band, and there's Dorian, there's Mixolydian, there's all these different types of scales.
That's what they named them and stuff. So he was all in,
yeah.
That's fucking funny, man. That's hilarious. At what point did you start writing your music?
I think the first song I ever wrote, I might have been like in 6th grade, and I was playing guitar at home and, you know, listening to Blink-182 and
all right.
Taking Back Sunday and all those bands. And, you know, naturally you're just in your room and you're like, well, maybe I can write a song, you know, and you kind of just start mimicking the things that you hear in the songs that you're hearing. And I think that's when I started maybe doing that.
Oh, okay. What was the song about? I know you remember.
Probably a girlfriend.
Was it a girlfriend?
Or? It's funny. I really wish I could be cool and be like, nah, I don't remember, but I totally remember.
Everybody remembers, bro.
Everybody does, bro.
I totally remember. I want to say like the first real song I ever wrote was about this. I was like doing this like soccer camp in the summer. And it was just like one of the girls that was in the soccer camp. I don't even remember.
It was a girl, right?
Yeah, I know. And it was just like, I just wrote this song like romanticizing her, and I wasn't even like that close with her. Like I knew her for a couple of weeks at this summer camp. But at the time that I was writing the song, and in my head, I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be writing a song about a girl.
Right.
She's
the one you
that was the closest one.
Yeah. So I remember that was like the first song that I wrote.
Did you record it or anything like that? You know, there's a recording out there. You know there no.
Hey, I was in 6th grade.
Yeah, but you know, you can just pick anything.
Maybe I recorded it on a tape player. If anything.
Did you by any chance do you look back at lyrics that you wrote from 6th grade on? Do they somehow get recycled into like what you do today?
Well, for sure, like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But like if I was in 6th grade, nah, I wouldn't.
Because
it's like Puppy Love, Pretty Much, and stuff like that.
I was just figuring out what I thought was good lyrics.
Hey, but when you were done, I bet you were like, that song's badass.
I mean,
in the 6th grade, you were like, this song's badass.
I think when I did write that song, and I would like, I actually want to say I did record it and I put it on a tape player. Like I just like recorded on the tape machine. And I was like showing my friends and like seeing their reaction. And being a 6th grader, I mean, obviously, it's not going to be like the best thing anyone's ever heard. But they're just going to be like, "Whoa!"
Because they're your musician friends, right? Like you're taking it to the
not even my musician friends.
Okay, just your
like
regular friends.
My regular friends. Yeah. They're just like, because we're all skating around and listening to Blink and Good Charlotte and Green Day and all that shit, and they're like, "Wait a minute! Like all of a sudden you can do this!" Like, and I think that at that early age there was like a spark in my mind that was like, "Oh, maybe I can do this."
Kind of
thing. And I think, I mean, when I was like a little kid, if you would have asked me what I wanted to be in life, I might have said a violin player, or I might have said something ridiculous. But I think maybe at that point in time, trying it and showing my friends, I think that I was like, oh, I want to do this. Like, and that kind of stuck with me.
That's dope, man. What was the feedback? Did you get any good feedback, or they were like, "Come on, Andrés,
I think so.
Come on, Andrés, like come on."
Because you know how friends can be too. You know,
there's always that one friend. There's always that one friend like, come on, dog.
I mean, for comic effect, I wish I had a friend like, but like most of my friends were just like, "That's cool."
Oh, that's dope.
They're just like, "Yo, that's really cool." Like,
positive reinforcement. Those are good friends.
Yeah.
Oh, they would have laughed at me.
Friends are assholes, bro.
That's hilarious. How do you write your music? How do you write lyrics? Do you get like a pen and a pad? Are you like on an iPhone or something like that writing? Like, how does Andrés write music?
I think that it was like a really long process of figuring out kind of how I prefer to write lyrics. But back in the day, I would actually, sit there in a pen and a paper. But then over time, what I would do is I would just like write notes. And just like throughout the day, or I'll just write notes like throughout the week. And then when I actually sit down with the song that I'm writing, because usually I start with like a guitar thing or the music, and I'll sit there and I'll listen to it, kind of put it on loop. And I'm, then I'm coming up with like a melody, and I'm like, okay, this would be a cool melody. I really sit there, try to think of a melody, and then I'll go to my phone, look at the notes, and then I'll kind of read each note in that melody, see which line fits the best. If I find a line that fits the best, okay, let's go with that line. Right. And then, that's interesting. And then we'll go with that line, and then it's like, all right, well, now this is what the song is about.
Yeah, it spawns from that.
Yeah. So then we'll think of the next line, and then the next line, has to follow that line, and then I'll try to create a narrative out of that line, and then I'm kind of simultaneously coming up with the lyrics while I'm also coming up with the melody.
That's dope.
But I sit there and do it. But I definitely rely on technology. Like I rely on laying down the music first and listening back to it, and then I'll record what I'm writing as I'm writing it. So like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't write it and then go and record it. Like I'm recording and writing at the same time.
Do you ever get to that situation where like the words are coming in too fast for you? Like it's just going by. You're like, wait, stop. And you gotta like either write it down, jot it down, or however. And you're like, shit, I just said something real cool, and now I can't think about it because I gotta go back. You ever get that little?
Yeah, well, I'm like always by myself when I'm doing it usually. So I'll just press space, and I'm like, okay, no, hold on, I really need to think about this. And like even having like another like laptop to really type it out, and then counting the. Like the
bars or whatever.
Yeah, just like really doing that before I even press play again. Yeah.
Because see, like that's cool to do this shit by like me. I got a band. I have to be like, hey, play that shit again. And you know what I mean? Like, just keep playing that, and then you start doing. You're like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like,
but have you ever written to like an instrumental that was already given to you?
I know. See, that was my follow up question. Was like when you get to an instrumental, like you kind of explain how you write to it, but some people. Like myself, I like, how does that make me feel? Like, how does this music make me feel? That's where I'm going to start my, So then I write it, that's what the song's going to be about. Right? You know what I mean? I go through my notes, but sometimes my notes don't match, or maybe they do match, but I'm not feeling it at the, like this song's making me feel like, damn, like this girl hurt me, or I'm feeling like, damn, I want to party right now. Like, what does the melody make me feel like, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I go.
Yeah. So as far as your lyrics, because these listening to your whole catalog and stuff, they're very heavy on lyrics.
Yeah.
Like they're there's a lot that you're saying in these songs and stuff, and sometimes you just go like you speed race. You have that quick flow too. You rap on a couple of them where you're just like boom, 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 boom. Like that's fucking dope, man.
Thanks,
that's fucking hella dope.
Yeah, I like the words you use, man. Very intellectual words. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
That's really good. That's what I'm a lyric guy. I like reading lyrics and stuff.
I love lyrics.
Yeah, so
I love lyrics. Like, early on as a kid, you realize that you like music, but then later on, you realize that you love lyrics, and you realize that lyrics can take a song to the next level. Right. And I mean, I think I really realized that in like high school, but junior high, I think I was starting to realize that. And then high school, I was like, oh, I really, really like lyrics. Because you start to see that there's like a bunch of bands that will try to sound the same. Well, what sets these bands apart? And then you find the bands that actually get set apart, which are the ones that are very lyrically driven. And they actually have something to say.
Some substance.
Yeah.
That like they actually have something to say. And then you kind of look around and you say, well, why do people like this artist? Or why do people like this artist? Because they have something to say.
Yeah, exactly. You're right about that. One of the things that I do like about your music also is that it doesn't stay in the same beat. You know what I mean? Like it slows down, it speeds up like a motherfucker, and then you go back to the beginning. You know what I mean? That's very creative right there.
Thank you, man.
It's very, very dramatic. It brings drama effects.
Which sounds excellent, by the way.
Keeps people locked in, bro. That's a good formula to keep people locked in. Yeah.
Speaking of lyrics, man, have you ever dealt with writer's block? And if you have, how do you get out of that? What's the advice?
I think specifically in high school, like in high school, I was writing so many songs. Like I feel like that's when I really kind of developed being like a songwriter. There would be times where I didn't know what to say, and it was because like I was writing a song every week.
Oh, okay.
And then sometimes like I would write a song and then I didn't have much to say, and then I was like, I don't know what to say. And then maybe like a couple of weeks go by, and in my head it was like, do I have writer's block? I don't know what to say anymore, you know? But it's like, it's just a couple of weeks. And
weeks, huh?
You know what I mean? It's like, it's just like a couple of weeks isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, of course.
And now as an adult, and I've been writing and performing and doing this for like the last 7 or 8 years, like as the Andrés project, like professionally, I will write and record an album maybe over the span of a year. And then I will take just enough time off to where I want to write again. And by the time I want to start writing again, I just have so much to say.
Right.
So you put it away for a little bit.
Yeah, so I just take a break on purpose.
Yeah, go live a little bit.
And then I never have writer's block. Like this last album that I just recorded, I recorded it pretty pretty and I wrote a lot of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, because this one came out not too long ago. Has it been a year or almost a year, right?
Well, it came out pretty much, that album came out at the very beginning of 2024.
Oh.
Just about.
Yeah. Because we're now in 2025. Yeah.
About a year ago.
So it came out right at the beginning of 2024.
So December 29, 2023, it says.
Yeah, but that was like the last day, pretty much.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was like the beginning of 2024 was like when I was pushing it. And then by the end of the year, I had already started writing the next record. And then I had completely finished recording the new record like in February of this year.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, so
that's pretty fast considering all the arrangements that you have in your music and stuff.
Yeah, but I was like locked in. Like I was like really locked in. But I gave myself like enough time to, by the time I did start writing it and recording it, like I just had so much to say.
Oh, cool,
I'm accumulating all these notes in my phone. And then I also like, I write notes of like songs that I want to do, like, do like a song that has like a salsa breakdown or something.
Oh, okay.
You know, like so I already have all these ideas in my head.
That's fucking dope, man. That's hella dope. Do you remember the first time where you recorded and you heard it back, listening to your voice, recording and stuff? Did you like it? Were you like, oh shit, like what does it sound like? Or
yeah, I was like in junior high, and I had bought this software maybe from Costco or something. It was like a music recording software, and I was kind of figuring it out. I was like, oh, okay, so you record everything track by track. And then you can even bring in drum loops, and I can just plug my guitar in and just kind of do all that stuff. Yeah,
so you're there for a couple of days.
I was like in junior high maybe, and it was just so fun. It was like a very fun thing to do.
When you heard yourself back for the first time, you were like, "Is that me?" Like, is that
yeah, definitely talking for sure.
Right.
I've gotten used to hearing myself talking, and I've actually accepted that that's what I sound like.
Yeah.
But at first, when I was like, what? I don't sound like that.
It sounds different, yeah.
But you have to get used to it.
Yeah. And plus, you were young during that time too, so it does sound different and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
That's funny. Do you have any advice on how to take care of your voice? Because you're out there performing live. You might be screaming, yelling. Because you have a high, you could raise your voice very high too, like a high tone.
The falsetto.
Yeah, and then you're everywhere and stuff. So what do you do, to take care of your voice and stuff? Is there like a practice, something or?
I got some friends that are like super into vocal care, like some peers of mine, and they will suggest like all of these crazy things. A lot of the things that I see when I'm on tour are a lot of vocalists, they'll have this thing called like a nebulizer. And it's kind of like, those kids that have asthma and they have that thing on, and it's like, like Darth Vader and shit. Yeah. But instead of like asthma medicine, I think it's like electrolytes or.
Yeah. I've never seen that before.
I'm not entirely sure, but like a lot of vocalists I see on the road, like they have that.
Right.
So they're onto like a whole nother level of taking care of their voice that I'm not really like tapped into yet. Mm-hmm. But what has been working for me these last couple of years is just drinking a lot of water.
Right.
Water.
And I know that sounds cliche or that sounds like simple, but if you drink like a gallon of water, your voice will be hydrated, your vocal cords like good to go. And then just do like a considerable amount of vocal warm-ups. Mm-hmm. So I'll usually do like a 30-minute vocal warm-up that's like very meaningful. And then in between, like throughout the day, I'll kind of just like warm up casually. So it's just like really important to keep your voice hydrated and then do a lot of just warming up.
Right.
And then by the time you're on stage, you're like good to go.
You're good to go. I saw that you posted a clip not too long ago, actually maybe a couple years ago, where you were warming up your voice. You were like in a garage, just walking back and forth and shit.
Oh yeah.
So that's what you're talking about right there, then, huh?
Yeah.
Shit, man,
I mean, like right now, my voice is pretty dry. You know, allergies.
Well, you're in Bakersfield.
Yeah, and
I love Bakersfield.
But it's like if I really were to like stand in a garage and start singing really loudly and warming up my voice, it's like I could get it there, and anyone could. It's just like hydration and warming up.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Where do you record your music at?
So I've recorded kind of all over the place. The first 3 albums I recorded in Montebello with a good friend of mine. His name is Alan Casillas.
A big shout out to Alan.
Yeah, he's a producer, he's a drummer, so he's great. And then the couple of records after that, I recorded with my friend Anthony Razzo, and we recorded all over the place. He's like my guitarist on the road, but he's also a really great engineer, producer. Like he knows how to do all that stuff. So we were kind of doing this thing that like when we'll be on tour, if we had off days, like we'll like rent out a studio for the day, just like to keep working.
Oh, I see.
And maybe we did that like once or twice, but throughout the year, especially recording that album, he would be like, "Oh, I'm in Seattle working on this record for this band. Like, you want to come up and we have the studio for the week and we can work on it there." And
take advantage.
That happened a couple times. We recorded quite a bit of it in Portland and then Seattle and then San Francisco and then some of it in Chicago.
So everywhere, huh?
Yeah, everywhere.
That's
everywhere.
amazing.
And it was just kind of for fun.
Yeah,
it was literally just for fun. It was like, I mean, he's like one of my best friends, so we were just hanging out together for like a couple weeks at a time, recording music. But this last record that I just recorded, I recorded in Santa Monica. I recorded with this new group. They're called Beach Noise. I'm actually sporting their hat right now.
Big shout out Beach Noise.
Yeah.
I just got back from Santa Monica.
So I recorded that one in Santa Monica. So pretty much all over the place. Yeah. The answer to that is all over.
Everywhere. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So music videos. You have a lot of music videos out there. You also shoot music videos also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about the music. How do you like that? How do you like those projects? Because, that's a lot of fucking work too.
I love it. I mean, I grew up loving music videos, and one of my favorite things to do when I came up from school was just watch music videos.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, like Fuse was like a big thing when we were younger, but just like buying DVDs, like Blink-182 DVDs, My Chem DVDs, the used DVDs, Taking Back Sunday DVDs. Yeah. Just there's so many DVDs that are like packed with music videos and tour diaries and stuff, and just like watching those and. Just those music videos were just so fun, and I mean, like specifically like the Blink videos. Like, they're just so much fun, and
they were out there too, huh?
Yeah, and it was like your friends would come over. What are we gonna do? Let's just watch Blink videos. I got the DVD. Yeah. We did that last Friday. Okay, let's do it again.
Still,
like, all right, put it on.
Still good. Right?
Yeah, they're like, put it on.
Those videos were fucking fun too. The Blink, like Josie was one of their first videos and shit. Yeah, we're going all wild with that video.
Dude, all of them, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They never fail to entertain you.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of why I like doing this as well, is just doing music videos. Like, I think they're just so much fun.
Yeah. I remember that we had the Disassociates on and stuff, and they mentioned that you did their video, their first video and stuff. You know what I mean? That's fucking cool. It came out really fucking good too. Where was that video shot at?
Most of that was shot in Los Angeles.
All right.
Yeah. It's very accessible to shoot in LA because there's all sorts of sets that you can rent for a pretty good price. And I have been doing it for so long with my music videos, and Bree, the singer, is a really good friend of mine, and she was just like, "Oh, I know that you're always doing music videos. Maybe you can help us out with this one." And I was like, "Yeah, like let's do it." And it was super fun. Like I really enjoyed it.
It's a really good song too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what is the average cost of music video?
I think that for a really, really good video, like if you really want to impress somebody, not just your peers, but just like a stranger on the internet, I think that you can make a really great video for like $3,000, $3,000 or $4,000, and that's like hire a really good guy to film it who can edit it and knows about lighting, and that might be $1,000 to $2,000, depending on, who it is, or if they bring an assistant. And then sets, you want to have cool sets, and maybe that might be another $1,000. And, right now you're already looking at like about $3,000. Right.
That's just on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, add in extra things. Maybe you want to hire an actor or somebody who does something, or a choreographer or something like that. Then maybe there's your extra $1,000. And then, you're looking at a $4,000 video kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fucking interesting. Yeah, a lot does go behind the scenes and all that. It's stuff you don't even see sometimes. You know what I mean?
I think it's worth it.
Yeah,
I think it's
definitely
totally worth it. I've definitely gotten away with making like some really cheap videos that look awesome and are super fun. And then I'll make a video that might have costed a little bit more, and at the end of the day, it wasn't as fun as the other one. So then you kind of have to go back to the drawing board. It's like, well, why was this video more entertaining, but this video cost more?
Yeah.
And then you have to think about it.
Right there.
Yeah, it's like, well, what was entertaining about this? Like all the things that were cheap were entertaining about this.
That's interesting. Yeah,
there's a lot to think about.
Yeah, that is true.
And I would say that I'm still always kind of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you don't have to put a lot to have fun. Right?
And you could hide a lot of stuff too, so it doesn't look that cheap as well, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you can like rent out this like huge warehouse, and it looks so cool that you're a rock band playing in a warehouse, and then you can hire this guy to do lighting, and that'll be expensive. And then it's like, wow, that looked really freaking cool. But then you have this other music video that was shot in a roller skating rink.
Yeah.
And
there just happen to be people there.
And a bunch of your friends are there, and they're all having a good time. And it's like, well, that video was more fun to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
And that video costed significantly less.
Yeah.
And you have to think about how, the average person, like what they're impressed by, but also what they're entertained by.
Right.
You're right.
Because they might be impressed with this video in the warehouse with the lighting, like, whoa, that's so impressive. But then they might just like the other one more. This one's more endearing. I could see myself in this one.
Right.
That is true.
Like, I want to kick it with these guys.
Yeah.
I want to listen to these guys, but I want to kick it with these guys.
Yeah.
Right? No.
That is true. Because that one who, I forgot the singer's name. She did that Friday video that went popular. It was like all bootlegged. Black. Yeah, but look at all the buzz it made too,
I was talking about her the other day. Actually.
Oh, really?
I was talking about how, because she's still
doing
an artist.
it.
Yeah, and she comes out with like serious songs.
Yeah.
And
she was even in a Katy Perry Friday video too, right?
Yeah.
She came out on all those, so she's still doing her thing.
She still plays shows, and she does pretty well for herself.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And even though that was like a moment that people were making fun of her, she
was young.
She turned it into like a strength. And now people actually want to hear her play that song.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic. It's like back then they were like, ha 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 ha, this is so bad. And now people are like, she better play that song.
Yeah, everybody's waiting for it.
I came here to hear that song. Like,
that's funny, man. Yeah, you never know when stuff, I'm big on album covers and stuff, and all your albums, you get very creative. You got the superhero costume on and stuff. You got the astronaut costume on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where do you come up with these ideas with album covers and stuff? Even the Sonny Torres one, is really good.
Yeah, so I took this picture in a location by the Salton Sea. I'm not sure if you guys know where that's at. Yeah. It's like out in the desert in California. It kind of used to be like a hub. Like I think people used to live there. But
1950s, that used to be like a very popular spot, and then all of a sudden the water there got super saturated with salt. So everything that's there died, and there's still reminiscence of a good time.
Yeah.
There's still like old stores and old places. It's really cool looking.
And I think that like lake, I think it's now like a sewage lake or something because it smells terrible.
It's completely LA's awful. Toxins is all it is. Los Angeles toxins is what it is,
Yeah, but at some point in time, there was like some vagabond artists that went out there and they built like sets like this, like what you're seeing.
Okay.
And I mean, I really wish I could give credit to the person who built this, but I don't know who did because it was just
it's
out
different.
there.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I really honestly, I feel like I owe them a lot of credit because I really do enjoy this picture, but I don't know who it was. And I went out there because I had heard that there was a lot of really interesting things out there.
There is,
And I honestly did not know that I was going to take this picture when I went out there. I was kind of looking for just something. and
something that kind of pops and stuff.
Just anything, and there was a lot of other sets built on this little area, and I mean, there was like this like confession booth that was built out there, like a priest confession booth. There was like the front of like a hotel was like built. There was all this like random stuff out there, and I took a lot of pictures with a lot of different ones. But, but that was just like, dude, this is, for some reason, this is perfect for the album. Like, it looks like, number one, it looks like I'm on another planet.
Yeah.
And then number two, you know, the heart, you know, and it's obviously there's romance behind the story. So it's just like, it was kind of the perfect. Like,
it puts a lot of things together. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, are you doing like a Bill and Ted thing where you're traveling through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like,
interpret it however you like, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that's hella dope. Is this in the same area also?
Yeah, same area. There was this cool ass tree that was like, I mean, somebody put that tree there. Like, it didn't grow naturally. Yeah.
There's a lot of different, you know what I mean, things on there and stuff. Yeah. And, you know, you got the superhero costume and stuff. And one of them, you know, so like, you just wanted to do something that pops, or like, what was the idea behind all of those?
In high school, I did theater, and I was like super big theater nerd. And I was just so into like, also, you know, being a fan of My Chem and all those bands, like those bands really, they made things fun and theatrical. So, and I was just like, I want to make my thing fun and theatrical as well.
Hell yeah.
So, you bringing up high school, have you ever gone back to your alma mater? And like talked to your old music teacher or your old theater coach?
No. Well, I mean, I'm friends with my theater teacher, like on Facebook. So every once in a while I'll chat with her, but, no, I haven't. I'm trying to read. Yeah,
because I low-key do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think they're there anymore. I think that's probably why. I think I heard that they're just not there anymore. I think actually, like, specifically, like, my music teachers were not there after I left. Yeah. So I was just like, well, I don't really need to go back.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Not because like I did it. I mean, I had a very positive experience in high school, but
Hell yeah, you even write about it too.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, would you like if you ever thought, man, I want to just go back just to go tell kids, hey, just inspire kids to like stay in music. Like, because the band's
that would be pretty cool.
Because band music in schools, they're just like diminishing. You know what I'm saying? Like, my band was huge, and now I look at my old alma mater and I'm like, dude, there's like 5 of you out there. You know?
Really? Okay, honestly, I didn't think about it, but now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, that'll be something.
Maybe that'll be like something positive to do.
Oh hell yeah, you can motivate the next generation.
I didn't even think about it, to be honest.
I was like, I'm glad.
Yeah,
there you go.
I didn't even think that was like a thing anybody like needed or wanted.
Oh hell yeah, any kind of inspiration for those little ones.
Music is like dwindling in schools. You know what I mean? And it's sad because I loved it.
Yeah, I could assume that talking to kids about your positive experience, like in music, is probably something that they would appreciate.
Right.
Oh, hell yeah, definitely. So we've been talking about all this music and stuff. Let's get to listen to some of the tracks, okay?
Okay.
You down for that?
Let's do it.
All right. So I went through your whole catalog, all right? And it was hard. I tried to limit it to like 10.
Yeah.
But there's so much good music. I had a hard time eliminating tracks and stuff, but you know, I narrowed it down. So I'm not gonna keep you here all night, all right?
Hey, we're good.
But all the songs you're gonna hear right now, they're available on all streaming platforms, man. Go ahead and check them out. You know, we're gonna get a little bit of the behind the scenes and stuff. So the first track I have over here is Darth Binks. What can you tell me about this track right here?
Do you want me to say it right now? Or
go ahead. You can talk over it. It's
over it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Darth Binks. There's a kind of very obvious, I want to say the song is called Autumn Leaves. It's like a jazz standard. Is that song called Autumn? The one that's like, da na 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 na. I think that song's called Autumn Leaves. It's like a really popular. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, go for it, man. So you know, this one is about a person that makes themselves the victim in their own sad story, right? Like
there you go.
Like I know a lot of people like that, you know, and it's tough. I like that I've never heard a song about this right here. This is dope that you got to actually, you know, write about it and stuff. Because we all have that one person who is always, you know, going through some situations, but you know it's their fucking fault, you know, pretty much. But
yeah, I think that early on, because I write about this quite a bit. I write about my observation of people victimizing themselves, and You know, whether it's me or people just in my immediate environment, I think it's something that I really like to just talk about. Because I think people are constantly, I mean, people's conversations, I feel like they're always like talking about who's the victim, who should we feel sorry for, who's the victim, who's the victim. And I just naturally want to like speak against that. I'm like, well, you know, why are you the victim kind of thing?
Oh, you break it down.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
You break it down in a way that's easy on the ears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is true.
So I mean, this song, "Autumn Leaves" is the song. Yeah. It was like
you found it, okay?
Yeah, it was like it was a very obvious reference to that song. It starts off with the same melody, but then goes into its own song.
Nice.
And yeah, just like, hey, I get that you want to be the victim, but like, just let's, even though we're super young, like let's think about the things that we actually have to be grateful
like
for.
It's like self-inflicted injury there, buddy.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, I wrote this song when I was like 21, maybe.
Oh, okay.
20, 21. So, that's that prime age where everyone,
you start seeing
someone's the victim.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's the victim in the relationship or any relationship.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a really good song right there, man. The next track I got over here is Sunday School. So, this is about a boy that has feelings for a girl, right? And hates everything that she does because it's not with him, pretty much, right? Like, man, that's fucking relatable, dude. Like, I've gone through that before.
The way he just puts it out there, like, that's what it's about. Like,
I would say that this song is very specifically about the insecurity that you have when you're young and you're in a relationship and you know that person has a very, I would say like innocent past.
Right.
Yeah, you had another boyfriend before me. It's like, so you had a girlfriend before me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. You got me there. But still, it hurts my feelings. And so this song is about really showcasing like the insecurities from my perspective, like my insecurities. I'm insecure.
So this is something that you went through, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything.
Oh man, that's fucking interesting. Yeah. Once again, like I said, like the storytelling is fucking dope.
Yeah.
Like that,
and I think there's so many different angles to talk about in relationships.
Oh yeah.
And I'm always trying to explore like, well, what's a new angle? And definitely like early on, it's like, well, usually guys aren't comfortable like being so insecure about like
showing their vulnerability, right?
You had a boyfriend before me, and you were with him, and because usually you want to be tough and you want to say, oh, I don't care.
Like I don't care, but deep inside,
deep inside you do.
You know it hurts.
So I was like, okay, I want to write a whole song about that.
That was your ex, like.
That's fucking cool, man. I like that. The next track I have over here, we're gonna move on to the next album, is Andrés Pasito, man.
Hey.
This one I hear, I really do like this. There's another good song right here. It's a motivational song about sticking with your dreams and stuff. Sticking to the dream, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like this is fucking hella dope right here.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about this track here?
Yeah. Well, I do want to. I was talking about Alan earlier. He really influenced some of the coolest parts of the song.
Really?
And like the part that's coming up, it's like,
oh yeah.
I kind of told him, I was like, I don't even remember if I told him this or not. If he just knew.
He's about to find out.
We were kind of talking about like how we were going for a My Chem meets Selena, like Selena kind of vibe.
Right here.
Like,
okay.
especially with this part. So we were kind of going for like a Selena moment with this part, but then the rest of the song was more emo, post-hardcore. So he really helped me craft this song. But yeah, this song I wrote this song for my second album as Andrés. And the first album that I released, I was just kind of doing a lot. Like I got a booking agent, I was getting booked on tours. So I was like really bright-eyed. I was like, oh, the future looks bright. So I felt very like,
you were very confident.
Let's go out, be confident,
But that's good though. You need to have that.
Yeah, so that's this, and it's funny because this is for my second album.
Yeah.
And then throughout the third, fourth, and fifth album, I've only become more insecure.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
More vulnerable, right?
Like, yeah, because then you get older and you're like, oh, like I'm not as hot as I thought I was, kind of thing. And
you see the world for what it is.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I'm like this small.
And I wrote this song probably when I was like 23.
the technicality in your music is impressive. It's really good.
Thank you.
Who's your drummer, by the way?
So with this album specifically, it was Alan. Alan's also a drummer.
Oh, also okay.
That's the reason why I started working with him, was because I needed like a good drummer to work with.
Oh yeah.
And then he was like, oh, by the way, I'm an engineer and a producer. And I was like, oh, okay, so I can just do everything with you. Yeah. So I would just go to his house, record all the guitars, the bass, do all the vocals. We'd work on composition together, and then he would add like little things, and he'd be like, let's do this crazy drum thing, and we just crafted everything together.
That's fun. It looks like you guys just had fun with it.
Yeah,
it's a really good fun track. Yeah, that drummer goes nuts in some of these tracks, man. It's amazing. It's incredible, man. That's fucking dope. The next track I have over here is Lucille 2. All right.
You know, this is another one of those songs where I was feeling a little bit too confident for where I was.
Bro, you kicked ass on this one right here, though, with your quick flow and everything.
Yeah.
You got lyrics, so the next time you mention Merle, Buck, and Korn, don't forget Andrés. Fuck yeah, bro. I fucking love that, bro.
Thanks for bringing that. I
love that.
I actually do appreciate you bringing that up. There was a Lil Wayne song that I loved growing up where he says, next time you mention next time you mention Big Pocket Jay-Z, don't forget Weezy, baby.
Yeah, there you go. So you got the baby in there too.
I was just emulating Lil Wayne.
That's good though. I like that. I was
like feeling myself, and I was like, all right, well, who are the local heroes?
Yeah, that's
Earl
fucking
Haggard,
dope, man.
Buck Owens and Korn.
I was like, fuck yeah, when I heard that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's dope. Once again, keeping that confidence, you know what I mean?
Yeah, very confident at this point in my life.
I like that though. That's really good though. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that, you know?
Yeah,
Gotta have it.
Yeah.
So on this one right here, the next one right here is Spanish Mommy, okay? Yeah. You switch it up, man. This is like, you're the Mr. Cool on this one right here, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you do talk in Spanish on this one too. You know, you talk about how she has a body like J-Lo in a face like Selma Hayek, bro. Yeah. Is that not like the perfect woman right there?
That's poetry right there.
I like that. You know, you say you're going to go pick her up in your Camry. Yep. You know, and then I like the next line. I'm gonna finna take you out to eat, you know, and you're gonna pay for it. You know, like, man.
Now with the body like Selena.
Hell yeah, you know, and you know, you got lyrics like "Ven pa' acá," because the Spanish one, you know, Andrés does, you know, he's singing Spanish too. Yeah.
There was a song at the time that was really popular that I kept hearing. Vente pa' acá. It was like,
oh, that's Ricky Martin. Ah, okay.
But you know, that's common slang. You hear that in a lot of songs.
Yeah.
But that song specifically was kind of stuck in my head a lot. So I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw that in there.
It came out really good. Vente pa' acá, yo sé que tú quieres bailar con el mariachi, puedo tocar mi guitarra cuando necesitas el Spanish papi. You know what I mean? That's fucking dope.
So just to kind of like throw like a quick moment. So this song is low-key about the movie Desperado.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I can see it now. Yeah.
It's like the song is like romanticizing a like common girl, but romanticizing it to the point that you're in this movie Desperado.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is
mariachi's in there.
Yeah. Well, because he refers to himself as mariachi.
Yeah,
that's his character name. Yeah. And the music video also shows that it's very Desperado influence, but it's like the song is supposed to be like I'm romanticizing this girl so much that like I'm making this fantasy world that me and her are in the movie Desperado.
Right.
Oh, that's dope, man. Hey, that just takes that song to a whole other meaning, you know, a whole other level.
I was really into that movie.
It's a good movie,
I call it just adding a splash of Tapatio, bro. That's all you're doing. Tapatio to music, bro.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. So let's move on to the next one right here that I had. That's a really good track, but man, every single fucking track
That's actually like, usually anyone in my family, if I'm at a family party, that is the song that
That's the one.
That's the one. Oh, Andrés does music. What? Yeah, I saw that.
Inglés, español.
They'll always play that song because it's like, it's not super rock. It's not super crazy.
What? Yeah, you're right.
And they're like, wow, this is your music? I'm like,
that's one of the
songs. But usually that's like the family favorite.
That's fucking cool, man. Hell yeah. Shout out to the family. You know how to pick the good ones, huh? Yeah. So the next one I got over here is Cada Mes. You know, what can you tell me about this one right here? Cada Mes. Another good track, man.
Great story for this song. I was on tour with this guy that was playing drums for me at the time. And he plays drums in a band called Dead Poet Society. and but he was filling in with us for a little bit. And Dead Poet Society, they do a lot of touring in Mexico. And he has a lot of friends in Mexico. And one day, me and him, we were on tour. He was just putting on a story that he was hanging out with me. He's just like, oh, hanging out with Adrés, blah, blah, blah. And then one of his friends from Mexico responded to him. And she was like, something along the lines of like, tú estás con Andrés y yo estoy con Andrés también. Like something like that. And he was like, what does that mean? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, what does that mean? And she's like, I'm on my period. And he's like, what? And I was like, what? Yeah. So then she had like sent us this video that explained, there's like this video on YouTube. I'm not making this up. But in Mexico or some part of Mexico, there's like this folklore or something about this story of this Prince Andrés who stole the innocence of a girl.
Oh, no shit.
And they use this as like a, I don't know, a metaphor or something to say that you're on your period. So the phrase is Andrés el que viene cada mes.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
And I took that and I made a song about it, kind of like painting this picture of I'm like this guy in this girl's life that she finds annoying. Because I'm constantly bothering her. And she's like, oh, Andrés, he comes and bothers me at least once a month. So like I'm just as annoying. I'm annoying to her as her period.
Yeah.
But that is a real thing.
Period.
Yeah.
Look it up. Andrés el que viene cada mes.
That's fucking dope that you made that into that. Yeah, that's fucking dope.
I would have never made it if that girl would have never responded to my friend.
There's women in Mexico that understand that song on a whole different level.
Yes, there is. There really is.
There it is. Yeah.
That is fucking funny, dude. That's too funny. The next song I got over here is Lima Heights, man. Okay. What can you tell me about? This is another good track. What can you tell me about this one?
So the name of the song really has nothing to do with the song. It's this. I don't even know if it's a real neighborhood or not, but I was watching the show Glee at the time, and one of the characters in Glee, like she was always like, "I'm from Lima Heights." Like she was always like repping that, and that's just why I named it that. I just
okay.
But the song, I guess it's just one of those like introspective songs, like where I was in life, just kind of observing my environment and making comments about it, kind of thing. There's not really like a concrete narrative to the song. At least I don't think there is. It's just kind of like a stream of conscience.
Nice. It's a good track. So let's take a break from the albums, okay? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna take this way back. We're going way back now, okay? Okay. So you used to play for a band called Terra Alive.
Yeah, that was my band.
So can you tell us a little bit about this song right here? This is you guys were hella young over here.
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked you're playing.
What do you got going on right now? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so this was my senior year of high school.
Oh, nice.
And at this time, it was me and a friend named Justin Phillips. And Justin plays guitar, and he's a really good guitar player.
Yeah.
And he still like plays guitar. He's like super active on the internet. But in high school, me and him teamed up. And Terra Alive was like my project, like with friends. Like every year of high school or junior high, it would always be like different people involved.
Oh, that's dope.
So this year in particular was with Justin. And just this song was just me and him hanging out in my room, recording songs together. I think I recorded the drums to this song.
Really?
I was like really trying to play drums at the time, and I recorded the drums for this song. And I was really trying to figure out how to be a better like engineer.
Like a practice song, pretty much.
Yeah, so this song was completely just me and Justin, and I was just singing about whatever was going on at the time.
That shit is funny because you guys are everywhere in this track, you know, like it goes everywhere. Yeah,
you can see that I was always kind of like interested in making music that was like all over the place.
That's cool shit, man. Like, how fun is it to hear it again? Like, you hear it, you're like, those good old days, right?
Dude, I like this song. Like,
it's a good song, yeah.
Every once in a while, like, one of my friends will put on, like, a really old song and be like, hey. And I'm like, honestly, this is pretty cool. I'm like, this is cool that I did that in high school.
That's fucking dope, man. I like songs like these, you know, from back in the day and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we used to play the song a lot. You know, Jerry's Pizza. Wherever we were playing at, we would play the song quite a bit.
That's fucking dope, man. The next one I got over here is Prom 2012. This is a fun song about not wanting to grow up. You know what I mean? I like the message there. You know, you keep it fun.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about this one?
I had like this big ambition for this song to be like very successful, and it just because like
the way you said that, like,
I know, like,
and it just wasn't.
It just wasn't.
Out of all the songs, you know, you picked this one.
I came up with this really like simple piano thing, and I mean even the piano thing wasn't super original, but it was just kind of the idea that I was making a song like this that like I hadn't really done before. And then, yeah, I mean, the song is pretty much about my prom, like everything that unfolded that night or around that time period. Being really introspective about like being at prom. Like, I think when people see like prom in movies, it's usually like two characters that don't really know each other that well.
Right.
And it's usually like really cute that they're at prom together. It's like, oh, the main character finally got with the other main character in that prom. You know, like Twilight.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Edward and Bella, they just met and now they're at prom together. That's so cute. But I wanted to make a song where it was like, it's not cute that we're at prom together. We have all this baggage. Our relationship has been through so much turmoil.
Like, I barely know you.
And now, like, I'm thinking about the rest of our lives. Are we going to look back at this moment?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Are we going to look back at this moment and think fondly about it? Right. So that's, you know, that's the gist of the song.
That's fucking fun, man. That's fucking hella cool right there. You got a good song out of that one right there, man.
I enjoy the song.
It's a really good song, yeah. Let's talk Crisis on Infinite Earths, okay? Is this the first time that you start mentioning other you know, like Earths and stuff, different dimensions? Is this where it comes from?
Yeah, so
okay.
kind of for the, like, around this time, I had been messing with this idea of kind of introducing this multiverse aspect to my music. But that really came from, like, just being a comic book fan. Like, I read a lot of DC comics.
Ah, nice.
And there is a DC comic series called Crisis on Infinite Earths. And there's, like, a bunch of series. Like, they don't stop at just that one. They did a bunch of them. And it was kind of like a reoccurring thing in the DC universe to where there was always some sort of crisis because of one character from a different universe coming to their universe and messing things up. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So I always kind of really gravitated towards that, like, storyline. And I was kind of developing this idea of, well, what if this character is not able to be with this girl in his universe, but he found a universe where it could work out with her.
Right.
And I was kind of developing it, but like it wasn't like a full-blown story yet.
Yeah.
But this is
like
definitely
an idea. This is where it started from.
Yeah, this is where it started
That's fucking
from.
dope right there.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, maybe we're not going to work out in this universe, but maybe I'll travel to another universe and maybe we can work out there.
Right.
And it was really like very comic booky. Like I thought it was very comic booky.
Cool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And honestly, like I know that like the Marvel movies were doing that pretty recently as well.
Yeah.
As like multiverse stuff.
It started it.
But I had this idea before the Marvel movies because DC has been doing it.
They've been doing it for a long time. Yeah.
And like there's Flashpoint.
Yeah.
There's just like a bunch of like DC stories that really rely on the idea that this character from a different universe is interacting with this other character from this other universe, and it's messing everything up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I really got it from.
That's cool.
That's fucking dope to hear the beginnings of what the album ended up being and stuff. So let's move on to this album right here, okay? So we came in with Casual Bender and stuff. So the next one I have is My High School Reunion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is like I said, another good one and stuff. And once again, this album you gotta listen from the beginning so you can get that story. You know what I mean? You got the character of Sonny Torres and stuff, that, you can't be with this girl. So, or I believe in the beginning you said that she already has a boyfriend or something like that.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to find a way to, win that heart and stuff.
Yeah.
So you travel to different different dimensions and stuff and try to
find, and each song kind of I'm meeting a new version of her, and it still doesn't work.
And it always goes back. You know?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, but you got to stick around for the whole album. Listen to the very ending to see how it ends and stuff. You know what I mean? But this is like, I love the idea. When I heard this album, like I said, it was like, dude, I heard it from the beginning all the way to the end, you know, because I wanted to know what happens.
I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? You got Earth 661 and stuff, you know?
Yeah, all the different Earths, like all the different universes.
Yeah.
The numbers are area codes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like 661.
Yeah.
There's
the
like
LA one.
Like a Fresno one. 559 or something like that. Yeah, they're all area codes.
That's cool, man. That's really cool.
Was it fun recording this album? Because there's just, you could tell, man, that there's so much that went into this album. You know?
Yeah, so this album was recorded by my friend Anthony, the one who plays guitar for me live.
Oh, big shout out, Anthony. Yeah.
And then the drummer for the whole record was Justin, who also plays drums with me live. Mm-hmm. And I would say that, it was incredibly fun. I'd write a lot of these songs at home, and then we would pick times to go record them. You know, wherever Anthony was at the time, we'd be like, hey, let's go record here, let's go record here. And then let's bring Justin for this one, record drums, let's bring Justin for this one. And so it was 3 dudes. And
that's dope.
But I definitely had the whole story pretty much mapped out.
Oh, really?
When we were in the studio, we were just focusing on recording the music.
That's fucking dope. Yeah, you got to take advantage of that time that you're there with everybody and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could tell it was a lot of fun. You could tell. You know?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of fun. Also, this album is very like indie. I don't know, like if you get that vibe. Yeah. The first 2 records that I did were like very like produced.
Yeah.
And Alan, he's an incredible producer, and he just comes from that background. But for this record, Anthony, who recorded it, like me and him are such fans of like indie records, and we were fans of more like natural sounding things. And so we just had a lot more fun as friends, just like really trying little things out and recording things like naturally. And I think that gave it like a vibe in its own of like this quirky like indie musical.
Even the skits you have in there, man, they're like, fuck, to keep the story going, like, man, that's very creative.
And that was something I always kind of wanted to do also.
Yeah, that's
growing up, like
dope.
listening to like Outkast albums.
You get those skits in there.
I always wanted to do like a skit album kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fucking hella dope. I like that in this song right here, my high school reunion, you say you have a crush on all the chicks and stuff pretty much. You know, that's fucking funny. How true is that, man? When you saw them, you were like, oh man, here she is.
Well, I just thought that the sentiment of going to your high school reunion and like being honest about like, oh, I still like that girl. You know, like I just, again, like I don't think that many people write songs where they're honest about the things that they're embarrassed by.
Yeah.
So
like,
you're
right about that.
I wanted to be like low key, like embarrassing, you know?
Yeah,
I wanted to write a
that's
song that was
fucking
like kind of embarrassing.
That's fucking dope, man. And you know, the last song I got over here is Three Maves, all right? And that's with our girlski Vanessa. Mm-hmm. She was out here a couple of weeks ago and stuff, man. This is a really like the storytelling, you know, Eric's gonna tell again, he always shows up late.
What's up, dog? Hey.
This is such a fun track because you tell 3 different stories all in a song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how you crash and burn with this one lady, man.
So just like right off the bat, this is one of my favorite songs I've ever made.
It's a good track.
Even as I was working with Anthony and Justin on the song, we were just like so hyped on every little section of the song. And I think like my journey as a songwriter has constantly been like, well, what can I get away with saying? Or like, what kind of narrative can I really get away like with showing to people? And like, at what point are they entertained by it, or are they like put off by it? Right. And I think that the fact that so many people were entertained by this song, I was like, oh, we did it. Okay, like we did it.
That's the one.
And the point was, you know, with the narrative of the album where you're visiting different universes and you're visiting different versions of the girl that you want to be with.
Yeah.
In this song, it's like, well, I went to one universe where that girl that I wanted to be with was like super politically far left.
Yeah.
I went to a different universe, hung out with her. She was super politically far right. And then I went to a different universe and hung out with her, and she was obsessed with
horoscopes,
astrology.
Yeah.
Astrology. So it was like navigating those things, and that's all like a metaphor for dating.
Yeah.
You know, it low key it low key reminds me of the movie Bedazzled. You ever see the movie Bedazzled?
Oh yeah. There you go, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser?
Yeah. You remember
That's
like,
true.
Like, has 7 different, you know what I mean? All the wishes, and he wants the same girl, but she's like a different
That
person.
is true. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really a grand metaphor for dating, because when you are dating, you're looking for somebody who has this one thing that you really liked about somebody else.
Yeah.
And
Trying to get all of them into one.
Yeah, you keep looking for this one thing, but then as an adult, you know, there's other things that get in the way, and it's like, whoa, like, because it's simple when you're a kid. It's like, well, she was cute and she was in my math class.
Yeah.
Now as an adult, you're like, you know, what job does she have?
She better look good when she walk away from me.
What's her credit score? Is she annoying?
All types of stuff.
so many
Yeah.
things.
Just keep a good conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good track and stuff. You know what I mean? So once again, the Sonny Torres album is out there. You know, if you want to find out what happens, you know, at the end and stuff, make sure to listen to the whole album and stuff. You know, and it's a really good, well put, well produced, you know what I mean, album as
Thank
well.
you, man.
You know, I really do enjoy that and stuff. And thank you for bringing the vinyl.
You know, Cretell actually did some production on this album.
Really? You never told me that, huh?
I want to say you worked on Three Maves. And
wow, man. Hey, awesome job, man. Big shout out, Cretell.
What else? Red Flag Football? Or was Chan? Was that just Chan? Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 songs. No.
And Cretell, you know,
dope.
he's one of my best friends here in town. So like sometimes I'll be like, hey, you know, there's a song that I got that has like, you know, this hip hop sensibility to it. Do you think that you can help me out with it? And I'm really, you know, I'm looking for his ear when it comes to drum samples or just like extra production when it comes to like hip hop stuff.
He has his own style.
Yeah, because I'm so
that.
into, you know, the rock world that when it comes to like the hip hop stuff, it's like, I mean, I love to listen to hip hop, but like, am I savvy when it comes to the production elements to it?
It's different, yeah.
There's little things like there's like reverse cymbals.
Yeah.
You know, things like that, or just like other random little percussive moments that add to a beat. That I might not like hear that immediately, but you know, Cretell and Chan, they're like, oh, we gotta add this, we gotta add this. You know, all those little things that like they
makes
add,
a big difference.
They add to a moment.
Yeah, that's why it's good that you're surrounding yourself with a lot of talented people. And stuff,
you're in your own world, and then you want to get a little piece of it. Like, hey, I'm stepping into your phase. You know,
Exactly.
You're gonna hear things a lot different than I do.
Yeah, and I'm happy to help. I'm happy to ask for help from them because they're my friends. I like to hang out
there
with
you
them.
go, man. It's not even work anymore, huh? It's just hanging out with the boys.
He's not gonna be like, don't come at me with that bullshit.
That's funny. So earlier today, I asked you to pick a song that you wanted to play. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know you got a lot of songs out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you pick Ms.November and stuff.
Yeah.
So at the end, we're gonna play this track and stuff. And can you tell us why did you pick this track out of all of them and stuff?
Yeah.
Why does this one stand out?
You know, it was a song that I always really liked because like the first half of the song was kind of electronically driven. And then the second half of the song was very like indie acoustic.
Nice.
And I just think that it's one of the more unique songs I've ever made. And I think that like the sentiments of the song are also like something that I don't really visit quite often in my music. So I mean, the song kind of talks about like a failed relationship, but then it's like, hey, even though it was a failed relationship, I really admire you and I hope you're doing good.
That's awesome.
And I think that, I don't know, I mean, I don't think I've visited that very much in a lot of my songs. So I think it's very positive.
I like that. that.
And I just think that like a lot of the moments in the song, like musically, are very interesting. Like there's these really jazzy drums in the end of the song and jazzy acoustic guitars, and then the first half is like electronic, like I said. So it's like
it's a mixture of a lot of things.
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't see the ending of the song if you heard the beginning of the song. They kind of both come out of left.
I like
It has a little bit of everything and kind of explains it very well.
I just think that like if I were to show somebody this song of mine, they wouldn't necessarily grasp what genre like participate in.
Yeah.
But they would really understand the contents of my lyrics, like really
like
well.
that. Yeah. Hell yeah. Not to be confused with Mr. November, right?
Yeah,
because, that's what I did. I was like, wait a minute. It's a Mrs. Okay, so before we premiere that track over here, I'm going to ask you some shotgun questions, all right? So,
okay.
So let's just go ahead and boom, get these out of the way, all right? Don't even think about it. Just tell me the first thing that comes to mind, all right? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Who's your dream collab?
Drake.
What kind of song is it going to be?
I want to do an emo rock song with Drake.
With Drake, huh? All right. Get him out of his comfort zone, huh? Yeah. I'm pretty sure he'll knock that one out too,
I think I don't see why he wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, there you go. If not, okay, so you tap into different genres in your music and stuff. But what's a genre that you would like to dab into, man? What's one that you're interested in?
I'm not saying this to be funny, but like Indian music.
Like
they
have different instruments too.
I've always said this, like, people are like, oh, that shit gets on my nerves. I said, bro, you know what? You got to respect it, bro. Anybody that puts that much time into music, you got to respect it.
Anytime I hear like I guess like Bollywood or I don't even know if I'm using the correct terminology, but anytime I hear that genre of music, I'm like, I don't understand entirely what's going on, but I love it and I want to participate in it somehow.
It's different, dude. It's different.
Right?
So I remember, so interviewing the group Wandering Cane, they're local here and stuff, right? So they have a lot of Indian instruments in their music. So that's an album that I would strongly recommend. It's a double album and stuff, but my goodness,
I'll check it out.
They have a lot of instruments in there that it's a whole list. And I had the pleasure of interviewing different artists that participated in that album, musicians and stuff. And my goodness, when they talk about these instruments that I've never heard about, like I had to look it up. What's making that sound here?
What are they called?
Wandering Cane. I'll give you the information and stuff by the time we're done and stuff. So I got their CD right there, actually. But that will be a good one and stuff. So besides music, what other talent do you have? What's a hidden talent that Andrés has?
I'm really good at soccer.
Soccer, huh?
Yeah, I like grew up playing soccer. Like my dad is a great soccer player, and I love to play soccer.
That's cool.
Like, don't mess with you then, huh?
I don't actively participate in soccer games, but like I will grab a ball and I'll start juggling in my backyard, and I'm like, I want to play with somebody.
You're there by yourself and shit.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. So, when we were growing up, we had different toys around us and stuff. So what was your favorite toy growing up as a kid?
Goku,
huh? All right.
With the halo.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one that didn't escape you.
They had like very specific versions of Goku.
Yeah,
like
there was a bunch
Super
of them.
Saiyan Goku with the halo.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Okay.
I gotta have that one and stuff. Let's talk about some food, man. So if you had to choose one final meal, and that's it for Andrés, man, what would it be?
Flame broiler.
Okay,
really?
All right, that's good. What would you get in there though? Because they got some pretty good bowls in there.
Flame broiler?
Chicken.
Just whatever chicken they have in there. It's some good shit.
Like, my entire life, I adored chicken teriyaki, but I used to go to Sarku, Japan in the mall.
All right.
And then just over time, then you start eating different places that have chicken teriyaki. Yeah. And then flame broiler came out, and then it's like, that's the best version of it. That's the best version of what I like to eat.
That's the
teriyaki
one.
bowl, like teriyaki bowl. Yeah. At what time, right?
Yeah, it's all good. Like, I like it all, but I don't know. Something about flame broiler I really
That's the
like.
one. So we
I
can
read
catch
you wrong. I thought he was going to say a Mexican dish for sure.
I know, he went different. So we can catch you at Flaming Broilers then, huh?
Catch me at flame broiler.
That's funny. What's your favorite movie? There's a lot of good ones out there, man.
Oh, man.
Which is the one that you could
What's your go-to?
Yeah, where you could just sit down, bam, it's on. I'm watching the rest of it.
Oh, man. I feel like I should be more prepared for this question. La La Land.
La La Land, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Dude,
good movie, like a musical.
I love musicals, bro. I'm sorry.
Land.
I know we had a conversation about this.
Everybody thought I was a dude.
I love Chicago.
Chicago, Burlesque.
Yeah.
All of those movies, bro.
Yeah.
Grease, all of those.
I actually really, really like Chicago.
I love musicals. Yeah,
that's a good one.
I have the soundtrack to that playing in my car quite often.
It's a good,
I forgot who it was.
Mr. Cellophane, I love that song.
I remember who it was.
Yeah.
He said that his favorite musical, because he loves musicals too, it was one of those hidden, you know what I mean? Grease 2.
Whoa.
Yeah. He said Grease 2. I said, wait a minute. Did you mean part 1?
Like,
and he was like, no, part 2.
Like,
said,
cool.
Like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Cool Rider.
I gotta go listen to Grease 2. Right?
Cool Rider. I don't know.
I'm like, did I
that.
see the same movie? Because I didn't get that, but he swore by Grease 2.
I thought it was.
laughing.
I mean, it was all right, you know. But I mean, I don't know if it's my go-to. Yeah.
That's funny. If your life had a theme song, what would it be?
Decade Under the Influence by Taking Back Sunday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hell yeah.
Hands down, it would be that song.
That's the one right there. That's good shit. You already knew already.
Yeah,
Most people have to think about it.
That's my shit right there.
There's so many movies that I like, and there's so many songs that I like, but that just came to mind quickly.
I like that. If you could have a superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it?
Superpower.
These are like the hard questions.
I don't want to say something like that everyone else has said.
And then I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
If I had a superpower, what would it be?
Watch, Vanessa's gonna pop out of here. She's gonna start talking shit.
Generational jumping, like what? Interdimensional jumping.
Hold on.
I already did that. He said.
I will come up with an answer. Just give me 1 second.
Go for it, man. Take your time. Take your time. This is a hard one.
Yeah, people take their time.
There's a lot of stuff out there. Man, how would you use it too? You know, like fuck.
I would be like, okay, I know what my answer is.
All right.
I would be the ice guy from X-Men.
Okay.
All right.
What's his name?
I'm trying to remember his name.
Iceman.
I think it is. Is it an Iceman?
I think it is Iceman.
Yeah, let's call him Iceman. Whatever.
And then what I would do with it is when I'd grab like a beer or something, I would make it cold instantly.
Oh, you would chill it. There you go.
Just like he did in the movie.
Hell yeah, that's a good use.
And my follow-up question is, what would your superhero name be?
Yellow.
Just keep it simple. Huh?
And you dress in blue.
Like, fuck, I get it yellow. He's going to freeze the whole thing up.
That's good.
That's funny. So we're going to go from a funny question to a serious question, okay? So without laughing, all right? Because we're going to get serious now.
Drop it.
Yeah. Point at your tickle spot.
Oh, probably here. Just I'm like everybody else. Really
underneath the armpits
here.
and stuff?
Yeah.
That's the only one. That's it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Man, he didn't laugh. You know, he was like, yeah.
He was
Usually,
he really did. He took that question serious.
Yeah, there you go. He said, this is a serious question.
Here,
and stuff.
Not a lot of people tickle me these days, but I think like probably around here.
That'll be the spot, though.
Usually.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here's a different question and stuff. What would be a word that you will not say on a song? For someone that writes so much lyrics,
man,
is there something you wouldn't touch?
Great question.
Dude, that is a good question for a lyricist.
Man. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I can answer this. It would be like a word that other people use a lot. Probably like the word metaphorically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't use that word in a song.
And you got to squeeze it in there too, huh? It's a long word. And
a lot of people use that word.
Yeah, okay.
But metaphorically, like speaking.
Yeah. You think they're just trying to kill time? They're trying to kill time to know what they're going to say?
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
It's like redundant, I guess.
Most embarrassing thing that happened to you on stage?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because you've been around everywhere, man.
Oh, my God.
You've seen a lot of stages.
That's actually a great question. There was this one time I was playing in Austin, Texas, and I think it's because I knew that the bathroom was like right there, like it was right next to the stage, and I just had to. Usually I make it a thing to go to the bathroom before I go on stage, but I just really needed to go, and the bathroom was right there, and I was just like, hey guys, like, I'm sorry I got to do this, but I have to go to the bathroom. And I like put my guitar down, I went to the bathroom.
Oh, you were playing the guitar too?
No, it was like in between songs.
Okay.
So but like, I'm holding it, I'm like, put it down, went to the bathroom, I came back.
I'm one of those.
But you know what? That was kind of funny. That wasn't like the worst. I would say like there have been a couple times where like I'll maybe fall or something.
Has your like guitar strap ever broken? You're like, oh shit. Or like lost a string and it just starts sounding like
losing the string.
I would say, you know what? I would say that those are embarrassing things that just happen that I've always just tried to prevent. Yeah. So I try to prevent those things. Right. You know, like I try to change my strings as much as I can. I try to make sure that everything's working correctly. But
you did
actually something that was more embarrassing that I don't even think was my fault, but we played at the House of Blues last year.
All right.
And one of the sound guys just came in and like started messing with our stuff, and then like our backing tracks like weren't working.
Oh shit.
And our backing tracks have like the pianos and like the background vocals, like harmonies and stuff. And they just kind of help make everything sound more full. Yeah, but there's like certain moments in our live performance that like there's parts in the song that really rely on those things, even though we are playing with guitars and bass and drums. Right. And this guy just came in and like did something. He switched out the cable because he thought it didn't sound right, but then he put it in the wrong hole with our mixer. Yeah. And then we were like trying to play them, and our drummer was just like, they're not working. And we were just in front of like a lot of people. And I was like,
that's embarrassing. Yeah.
I was like, how does this never happen? And it's happening right now.
Yeah. Of all places, it's fucking right here, right?
We were in front of a lot of people, and I was pretty, but like I was.
Yeah, I can see that.
I was pretty butthurt by that. Yeah, it was kind of embarrassing.
So be prepared as much as you can, you know. But that one, it was somebody else that did it. Yeah. Hell yeah. Here's the question that gets everybody into trouble, man.
Okay.
If you could date any celebrity, who would it be?
Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres. Hold on a second. Let me think about that one. Okay, so Ellen DeGeneres now, or Ellen DeGeneres during her comic stage?
Whenever.
Okay, she's the one that you're going with.
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah, she is funny. Yeah.
That's a good quality.
There you go. Yeah, she doesn't live here anymore, man. She moved, so you're going to have to go over there to her. That's a good one, man. What's the most difficult song you've had to write?
Difficult, like...
Put together.
Like it was like difficult to
I would say emotionally, maybe. Yeah. Emotionally.
Like, do you have a song that stirs up emotion? Like, well, I mean, all of them do, but one that hits you like, ugh.
Well, for me, like, I like writing really emotional songs. Yeah. So I kind of have like the opposite effect. I'm like happy while I'm writing it. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is emotional. Oh, okay. But I think that Three Maves was honestly one of the harder songs to write, just because I knew what the narrative was before I wrote it. So it was like really hard to like write to that, because you know how I told you that before, like my writing process is a little bit more like
it's like a multitasking.
Yeah, it's just like process, okay, I said this, now what am I going to say? Okay, I said this, now what am I going to say? Let's try to build a narrative. But I already knew the narrative, so I had to write to the narrative, and like, you know, keeping this section and this section and this section, and then also really saying things that I felt like, again, like weren't necessarily offensive, but what were entertaining about it. Like that, there was so much thought put into it that I think that was the most difficult song that I've ever
making it clever.
And I think that's why I like it so much.
That is true,
because I spent so much time writing and being like, okay, like, but how do I get even the people that would be offended by it to laugh at it and like be entertained by it? So like,
I can see that.
There was just so much thought behind it that I think that's why it was the most difficult.
And you're writing for two different people too, you know what I mean? Because you're having that conversation, which you're right about that. You know, that's pretty interesting. If these are for all the new listeners, okay? Somebody who hasn't listened to an Andrés song, okay? What one song would you pick to show a new listener? The one song that says, "Hey, this is what I'm about right here."
I have a song called "My Future Ex-Wife" that I think is a pretty good introduction.
All right, that's a good one.
A lot of my fans really like that song. I think "Self-Aware" is a good introduction song. These songs kind of showcase like the genre switch ups, and they showcase like the narrative, like the humorous narrative that's kind of throughout my music. And then just like knowing that people really like those songs. Like whenever we perform, people are always like, play Self-Aware or play Future Ex-Wife. So I always kind of assume like, okay, those are good songs to show people.
Those are the ones. Okay, hey, all great songs. All of them are great. Andrés, what motivates you still to write music?
Man, that's actually a good question.
Yeah, what is it now?
What keeps you pushing, bro? What keeps you pushing?
That's a simple question, but it's a good question.
It's a full question, you know?
Yeah. What motivates me? I think, I think just music and movies motivate me. Like, I think that observing people that I've loved to listen to for such a long period of time and like continuously watch them release music or release movies or anything that I really enjoy, that motivates me. I think that's like, dope. I think I want to be, I want to be a part of that. Like when I was a kid, music was just everything, you know, walking to school, listen to music. In between classes, listening to music. Walking home from school, listening to music. Yep. My girlfriend made me sad, listening to music. My parents aren't letting me go out, listen to music. Yeah. You know, every little moment, it was like, oh, like things aren't so heavy. Music is there for me. Like I'm so inspired and drawn by it, and just like listening to other people talk about their lives. Right. And so it's just been like such a positive influence for me, and just like seeing like what people are capable of making, it's just like, it's always been really inspiring to me. And I don't know. Like I personally, I personally feel like I don't need a whole lot. Like I'm a very simple person, but I think it's just because I'm so entertained by music and movies. Like I can just sit there and like listen to something or watch something for hours. Yeah. And that's like, that made my day. And I'm stoked about it, you know?
That's dope.
And other people have other problems, and, you know, sometimes I can like see where they're coming from, but then sometimes I can't really like relate to it because I'm just so like into this different world that has just like completely distracted me from a lot of things in life.
There you go, man.
I think overall it's like, it's just a very positive thing, and just being a part of it. And also, you know, a lot of the people that like my music and support me, they always tell me really encouraging things like, oh, you know, same thing. I listen to your music when I drive to work. I listen to your music when I drive home from work. I listen to your music when I'm sad. I listen to music when I'm happy. So it's like, that's perfect because that's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do with other artists. And
that's fucking cool, man, to hear something like that.
Yeah, I think just being a part of that is what inspires me.
Yeah. I like that. Great answer right there. So over here at the Bakersfield Underground, we like to share the spotlight with an up-and-coming artist, man. So can you, Andrés, name an artist that's out there that you would say, hey, man, check this person out?
Shout out.
Yeah.
Like from Bakersfield?
Anywhere.
Well, I mean, you guys had Kratel, obviously. He's my homie.
Check out Kratel. You know what I mean?
Shout outs, lady.
Hell yeah.
Kratel showed me this artist. Maybe you guys know her. Her name is Sasha Rist.
I know exactly who. I've interviewed her before. But shout out to Sasha Rist.
Yeah, I was like really impressed by her music.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah,
that's a whole other beast,
started
man.
listening to it, and I was like,
really?
Damn, this is good.
There's so much music over. I would like to see a collaboration with you and her. That'll be, because you know she has that quick rap flow, and so do you.
She's really good.
So
I was really impressed. And so she's kind of a new character that I've like a new local character that I've been put onto recently that I'm like, damn, like
she's at a whole other level, man.
She's really good.
And an awesome person too, by the way. When you meet her in person, she's cool as fuck, man. Really good, humble person and stuff. You know what I mean? So, hey, big shout out to our girlski, Sasha Rist. You know what I mean? What's next for Andrés, man? Give us a sneak preview, man, of what you got going on, man. Touring.
Yeah,
you got the album.
I got this new album. We're doing music videos next month.
I love that.
And I would love to release them later this year. I'm hoping to. And probably going to do some touring at the end of the year. I got a couple offers that I'm kind of trying to figure out which one I'm going to take.
Nice.
That's pretty much about it. Yeah. That's nice. I just gonna pump out this next album and
pump out that tour.
Yeah, pump out that tour and then do it all over again.
Yeah, that's cool.
Start writing the next record.
I like that, man. I like that you keep it moving and stuff. You always keep us entertained and stuff. And like I said, all these albums are available on all streaming platforms and stuff. You know what I mean? So Andrés, we're gonna go ahead and leave them with Ms.November and stuff. So before we let you go, can you go ahead and let them know where they can find you at on social media? Give them the tour dates if you're going to play anywhere. Or
Andrés Música on everything. And I don't have anything local. I'm doing like a show in New Jersey in August. That's like the only thing. Oh, and I'm doing a show in Vegas in August as well. And then most likely I'll be touring in the fall. Just hasn't been like confirmed yet. And then just next record will be coming out later this year, hopefully.
Man, so. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. Yeah. Andrés, thank you very much.
I appreciate you guys for having me, man. This is super fun.
Man.
Hell yeah, we finally made it happen, huh?
Love the spot, and love
it was a pleasure,
everything about
it, man.
man.
Hell yeah. So we're gonna leave you with Ms.November, and you're gonna hear that right now.